all the wide receiving core has to do is catch the damn ball. It's just crazy. Like we were so excited about this receiving core. They're coming in. Lamar's finally got weapons to throw to.
I will say this. I mean, the wide receivers up until this point have been solid, given the fact that some of them have missed time too, like OBJ and Rashad Bateman. I mean, Nelson Aguilar has played very well. Yes, he had that costly drop in the situation.
Yeah, more than one yesterday.
I know, but I meant on the very big play. Yeah. So obviously, you can talk about that, but overall, this group's done really well, and especially in the drop categories, they weren't dropping passes. This was just, it felt like after the first drop, it was a snowball effect. It was one after the other. And sometimes you have games like that as just a professional and you sit there and like, what the hell's going on? That's not excusing that by any means, but there are games like that. I think the problem that people have when this happens is it feels like this happens against Pittsburgh specifically.
Yeah.
It feels like it's against the Steelers constantly, where you're sitting there. I'll say this, I had the pregame show going on at 105.7, but the Ravens were winning 10-0, I believe. And it felt like this game should have been 21-0. It felt so dominant by the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it is. You can look at this as a positive if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. The positive is that the Ravens so far this season have been in every single game. They've either dominated the game or they've been in every single game. The negative then would be is that the two games that the Ravens lost, it felt like they found a way to not close it out. It wasn't that the team actually went out and outperformed them. I think that's where the frustration part gets into it, especially with the fact that the Colts had Gardner Minshew at quarterback. And then in this case, Kenny Pickett in this offense really couldn't do much this entire season so far. So I understand where people get frustrated, but if you're going to put that blame on Lamar Jackson specifically, I don't think that that's warranted. I don't think that that's fair. And if you're the Ravens, and again, I think the most frustrating thing for me is that the Bengals are now 2-3, and they're sitting one game back. I think if there's anything that gets taken away, is just that it was the opportunity to really separate yourself. But Lamar Jackson has been nothing short of a spectacular talent. He's throwing the football very well. Now, Rick did bring up here, I can let the fumble go, which again, end of the game, pass rusher makes a play, but not the interception. The one thing I will say is taking care of the ball in the red zone is essential. And in that case, in that scenario, guy made a good play, but regardless of it, you turn the ball over in the red zone. This isn't a Lamar issue. This is just across the NFL. You turn the ball over in the red zone, you can look up and say, well, how did the game turn out wrong? The Ravens had two circumstances with the field goal opportunity that didn't happen, the drop touchdown, and the interception in the end zone, where you sit there and go, well, man, that's a lot of points that are left off the board.
Yeah, I think another thing that gets me annoyed about that late interception, I guess first I will point out, I think that drop ball by Nelson Aguilar might have been the best pass of Lamar Jackson's career. I mean, just everything. If that ball's caught and a touchdown, you see that on every highlight on ESPN all day. But because it was dropped suddenly, Lamar had a bad game. But I don't want to – Lamar's interception is inexcusable. It shouldn't happen. But something I'm also wondering is, we get the ball on the 8-yard line. First play handed to Gus, who got 5 or 6 yards. And it was clear every time we were handing the ball off, we were getting 4 to 5 yards. And I don't understand why we suddenly decided to get cute. We wanted to, let's see if we can get a fade to Odell. Let's try to run these little play actions. I would have handed the ball to the bus 2 more times, waste clock, and then worst case, you kick a field goal. And I just think throwing the ball there, I understand they saw Odell like matched up one-on-one with a rookie. You love those chances, but still, I would have rather, hindsight 2020, just hand the ball to Gus 3 times.
Well, and also the one quick point too, and the red zone success in Cleveland was a lot of run designs and Lamar having the ball in his hands, making a read option type of look. So to your point, that's where Lamar, even his bread and butter of, can really keep a defense off balance. Again, it's the what ifs, but it's still for the Ravens, this defense is playing top notch, by the way. Like, let alone Marlon got beat at the end. That's not ideal. But overall, defense played extremely, extremely well. And this team should be good for the long road. But I will say this next game going to going to London to play Tennessee is not going to be a walk in the park. I actually am already sweating thinking about it.
Yeah. And then you get the nice reward of flying back to America to play the Detroit Lions, who are just one of the nitty gritty teams of this NFL that is just never fun to play. So definitely not an easy next 2 weeks. And you just got to hope that they can pull it out.